We're at a rental that I bought, 1620 Broadway in Pacific Heights district of San Francisco. I saw this place and it was an absolute mess, and I'm going to see it now for the first time. I had an awesome agent who also is going to be the property manager, and she had them actually make a lot of improvements. So there isn't much we have to do except furnish it. So we're now going to go and take a look. Hey, how are you? How you doing? Good to see you. Wow, it looks a lot cleaner and nicer than before.
Let's bring in Zain Jaffer now, CEO and founder of mobile ad startup Vungle.
I sold my tech company.
You did it right the first time. You did a beautiful job.
That was nuts. I said, don't ever do that to me again. Here we are again. So when you feel like you're onto a winner, what do? And people are like, sell it to Google or sell it to Facebook.
You gotta ride it.
You gotta ride it.
If it's a real winner, you ride it.
I'm Zain Jaffer, and I sold my tech company recently, and now I have my own investment fund called Zain Ventures, which invests in stocks and bonds, but also fund things like real estate and startups.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Pearson, and I own my own real estate company. It's called Francisco Life Real Estate, and we buy, sell properties, and we rent properties for owners, investors, everyone.
Walk me through, this place looks very different from when we first looked at it, right? Mm-hmm. I looked at this with you, and there were 3 units for sale.
Right.
And let's talk about how we got this place, actually.
So this place was listed at $595,000, and we got them down to $560,000. And this is going to be rented for around $4,200 a month, and possibly more in the summer.
See, when you have a good agent, you insisted that we get all the changes done so we didn't have to bear the cost.
Right.
But sometimes you have to buy it at a cheaper price and do the work yourself. But yeah, this is all good quality furnishings, as we can see. Good fridge and everything as well. Nice and spacious. I would actually live here. What type of tenant do you think will stay in this particular place?
So we're going to get a corporate tenant in here that just is going to be working a lot, and just it's going to be fully furnished. So they just come and they're going to be working most of the time,
right.
And they just stay here for like to sleep. So they're going to be working most of the time.
Is that typically what a lot of the tenant base looks like for this size of property?
Right, for this size and this location.
How many square feet is this place?
So this is, it's a smaller 1-bedroom. It's 412 square feet. So
wow.
In Pack Heights.
It does look and feels bigger in person. I don't know what it feels like on camera, but you know, this is a very efficient use of just 412 square feet.
Right, right.
So what would this be? Would this be the bedroom?
This is the
bedroom.
bedroom.
Is a tiny bedroom for sure.
This is a tiny bedroom with
people are okay with that in San Francisco?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Well, I think we're seeing a trend where you've got these large developers coming in, building these apartment complexes, and they understand the market now where it's small studios that are selling and perhaps 1-bedrooms. Are you seeing many 2 and 3 bedrooms, or is that not really where the market is for the tenant base we're attracting?
You know, on return on investment, the 1-bedrooms and studios are the best, but people still do get good returns on 2 and 3 bedrooms if it's in a really nice location.
Right.
And if it's furnished really nice, you can still get very high rents. Like in Soma, I have a 2-bedroom that I rent for $7,000, so you can still get very high rents.
Oh my God, that's incredible. And the rent is basically what we're doing is we're renting it on a short-term basis.
Right. We're going to fully furnish this. So.
Yeah. So why don't we explain to our viewers how that works, because there are regulations, right? What are the regulations in San Francisco, and how are we able to do a short-term rental?
Well, a short-term, you can do anything over 30 days. So 30 days is it just has to be over 30 days. It can't be under 30 days.
Right, like you can't do it per month.
Right.
Unless you live in the property, right?
Right. You could get a short-term rental certificate if you wanted to try to rent that out. The HOA has to allow that. So your HOA, each HOA is different.
Right, which is why we saw some good deals, but when we looked into it, In fact, we were surprised. The agents who were selling the properties in many of the places we visited didn't actually know the rules.
They didn't ever know how long we could rent it for.
Yeah, I get the feeling that these agents are mainly dealing with owner-occupants and
Right.
not dealing with investors as much, because to me it's an obvious thing you need to know.
Right.
If you buy this place, you can or can't rent it for more than 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. There are typically rules.
Right.
What's the range we've seen with the HOAs, by the way?
Most of the time it's 30-day
Yeah.
or 6 months.
6 months minimum.
6 months. Those are the
And
two
that's
main
a very different
ones.
approach when it comes to getting occupancy.
Right,
6
right.
months.
6 months. It's very hard to get furnished at 6 months. You can do it if it's in a really nice location, but most of the time for furnished rentals, you want to get 30 days.
Right, exactly. So this one is a 30-day rental.
This is 30 days.
Yeah, so this is the second property that I've bought with Rebecca. We paid all cash, which I think was part of the attraction for the agents and sellers working with us. Certainty of closed. We waived all contingencies, right? You looked over everything thoroughly, but for each of the sellers, there was a certain level of comfort knowing that this is a done deal, guaranteed.
Right.
I looked at many of the offers we put in, by the way. Some are still on the market.
Right.
And have you had people? What's your thoughts on that? Have you had any of those guys come back to us?
Well, yeah, the one in Mission Street, right? They came back to us, and they didn't take our offer. So they always come back asking for, they'll lower the price. So
Yeah, and I think we're trying to establish a reputation where the price we give is literally the best price. We're investors. We're not going to buy the whole emotional game they play where, it's a beautiful location. Like, we're investors, we need to make a return. And therefore, this is the price, we're bidding. And we always try to justify the price. Otherwise, the first time we did this, we saw was it a three unit triplex?
it was 3 units. It was 2 units.
2 units, the one in Mission, right? And they were insulted by us, it seems. And I
Yes.
think we learned from that, though. Okay, don't just put in an offer. Explain to them why the offer is the way it is. So, Rebecca's an amazing agent and has done a great job with that. When I actually met Rebecca, was I actually often working in the city. I would stay in short-term rentals myself, and Rebecca was basically the property manager, and also does residential and commercial real estate, right? So having your landlord or property manager be your agent is great, because now you are setting you've got the tenant base, and you're not like an agent who's saying, oh, you may get this, you may get that for rent. You're actually renting these units yourself, and you're setting an expectation with me when we buy them that we'll buy this is a good investment.
Right. I know the rental market very well, and most of the agents don't know the rental market. They don't know what it's really going to rent for.
Yeah.
So I really know what is going to work. And Zain just kept on sending me so many properties in the middle of the night, kept me up 24/7. And I just said no on all of them. So majority of them, because he wants a certain cap rate and we have to get that. So
Yeah, we'll talk more about that soon. But that's the key thing. You have to trust your agent too. And I think with many first-time people entering real estate, it's tempting to try to do everything, and then the agent tries to understand, well, what is my role here, right? Do you want me to find places for you, or do you want to send them to me and you want me to just do the transaction? And I think it's building a really good, tight relationship with the agent you work with. And in this case, it took some time for me to let go and realize, all right, you know what? I'll trust you. And we both have a really good sense of what I'm looking for. Because when you're looking at something for the first time and you read the marketing material on Zillow or whatever, you're thinking to yourself, oh, this looks amazing. And you get this really big emotional surge, right? And I think it takes an objective agent who's in the market to tell you, like, okay, calm down. These are all the issues that exist with the property. I think the other thing we found as well is always see the property at least 2 or 3 times.
right.
Isn't it funny how many times we've gone into a property the first time and it looks amazing and we're so excited, and I'm asking you, like, how many disclosures are there? Do you think they'll take our offer?
Right.
And you always push me to be like, let's go visit it a few more times. And it's funny, the second or third time I visit it, maybe, there's no official showing now, right? the lighting isn't very good, and you realize, like, wait a second, this doesn't feel as good, and you're more rational. And I think that's really important.
Right, to look at it 2 or 3 times, yeah.
Let's maybe run through that then. So as we walk around the property, what would you do in this room? How would you furnish it? And by the way, when you see some of the properties Rebecca has, and I've stayed in many of them, the furnishings are really in tune with, I think, what the market here, the San Francisco tenant base, is looking for. But why don't you give us a sense of, what you do with the space, the very little space?
Well, this is small, so we're gonna just have the bed here.
What type of bed would you have?
Just a queen. I think a queen
Can we
could
fit a
fit.
queen in here?
Yeah,
If you had a slightly larger room, what would you add to it?
a dresser.
A
But
dresser.
this
So we
is,
have this
I mean, this
dresser,
is
yeah.
this is the dresser, but normally there's a closet and a dresser
This is
in most of
tiny.
our, yeah.
But we're also, we've got a tenant base that is progressively more minimalist too.
Right. Well, it's Pack Heights, and people want this location. They want a short term, and this is new. People like new better than, there's a lot of
Yeah.
older properties in Pack Heights, so.
There isn't much we need to do here, is there?
We
Would we
just,
add anything like a microwave?
yeah, it doesn't have a microwave. We'd add a microwave, a toaster oven, and just all the dishes, and maybe a blender, just all the things that people need for a fully furnished kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, coffee cups, a coffee maker, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about the counter space itself? Is this sufficient for what our tenant base is looking for?
Yeah, I think this is good. It is a smaller apartment, but this is good. Like, look at the gas range. It's nice.
Yeah, that's great actually. Yeah, so this is brand new.
This is all brand new. Everything.
Awesome. Okay, so we've got a bathroom here.
The bathroom.
We've
yeah.
got very good use of space, but I've always found it very, personally I find it difficult when you've got to have the washer and dryer in the bathroom. It really does take up space, but we've seen this with the smaller units. Seems to be a trend. So this is where the...
Right. I mean, it has to have a washer and dryer in the unit
Yeah.
because people just do not want to go anywhere and do their laundry. In the building maybe, but even then, people don't want to even really do that. They want it in the unit.
So people are too lazy to go downstairs if we're in a larger building complex to go use the coin-operated laundry machines. And usually they're
Right.
coin-operated, they're never free, are they?
Right, they're all coin operated.
So this is in unit, so it's efficient. Okay, great. As we continue, what would you do with the... This is the living area, basically.
Yeah, this is the living area, just a sofa, a coffee table, a dining room table probably right here, a small one, and a TV.
Okay.
So that would be it.
What do you think it would cost to furnish this place? Or well, actually, not what do you think? What are we going to? How much are we going to spend furnishing this place?
It will cost around probably, it's small, it's probably still going to be around $9,000. We go through living spaces to get most of our furniture, and yeah, it could be a little bit less, around 9,000.
9,000. Is that
That's
like low quality furniture? Or?
It's good. It's living spaces and quality. It's a good quality furniture,
Okay.
but that includes like the TV, like the router, the kitchen supplies, the bed. It all adds up.
Yeah.
Everything, towels. It's a lot of things that just add up. Decorations. So
Got it. Awesome. So let's now talk about the actual business model. There is this perception, as I entered the real estate market myself for the first time, I was amazed at people telling me there is no opportunity in San Francisco, forget cap rates, you're really focusing on appreciation and we're at the top of the market. And I fundamentally just didn't believe that. And here, with all the properties we're starting to buy, we've got 2 currently in San Francisco, the cap rates are a minimum 5%. And that means we're actually getting positive cash flow.
right.
And that's also me putting all my cash down, right? If I leveraged it and I took a loan, the cap rate, will be similar or higher perhaps. So let's talk about that. Why do people think the San Francisco market is not really a good market to invest in for rentals?
Yeah, it depends. They're not picking maybe the right properties. And sometimes they are in the red, they're not making a positive cash flow. So you have to really pick the right property, and you have to get the right agent who's going to rent it out as much as you can. I mean, there will always be some downtime, but...
And is it fair to say that this business model only works if you buy a place, often a TIC, which we'll talk about again, and it has to be short-term rental, or can this model work if you also have an unfurnished rental?
No, this property would still be at 5 if we rented it for, I think, 4,100. So I could get someone in here for 4,100 and we would still get 5. So it's a very good property to get positive cash flow.
And you talk about 4,200 as an average. To some viewers it might seem like, well, why do all this effort and work? Why invest $9,000 in furnishings just to have $100 extra in monthly rent? But I think what needs to be appreciated is the seasonality of this.
Right.
Allows us to really capture some periods where rents can be very high. Well, why don't we talk a bit about that right now?
So the summer rates are very high. Sometimes in the properties they can be 2,000 more per month.
Do you think this one could get like 6,000?
I don't think this one could get that high in the summer, but it can get a lot more. It could maybe get close to 5 in the summer, because the summer rates are so much higher than the winter rates. So it's going to come out to be at least 5% all year when you average everything out, or more, possibly.
And let's also talk about TICs. So what is a TIC?
So a TIC is a property that is, you get a percentage of the whole building, and there is, they're still at HOA, and but you get a percentage of the whole building. Yeah,
basically you have the exclusive right to live in the unit, and let's assume we bought this unit. And how many units are there in this building?
There is 6.
There's six, right? I don't actually own this unit. I have the exclusive right to live in this unit or to rent this unit out as per the HOA rules. I own a percentage of the whole building, so fractional ownership. This is a concept that I think is more and more prevalent in San Francisco. And as an investor, I see this as an opportunity, because TICs tend to be priced lower than their counterparts. I don't know, I think about 20% lower, perhaps, would you say? But as an investor, your purchase price is a lot less. There are some liabilities, of course, in that if one of the other occupants of this building doesn't keep up with their rent, or there are damages to the building, then you're liable.
Right.
What do you think about that risk when investing in a TIC or living in a TIC?
I think it's still a good investment. The advantages still outweigh the liabilities.
Exactly. It's almost like buying a stock. Bad news comes out, often the market will price in the bad news, and I do believe that 20% discount from what the TIC is pricing in some of the risk. The other reason I think the TICs are lower is because it's harder to get a mortgage.
Right.
Which obviously does preclude a lot of the investors who are trying to enter the market to get a mortgage on a TIC, whether you're an owner-occupant, first-time buyer, or you're an investor. If you're relying on a mortgage, it will be more difficult. It's possible. There are lenders out there. We didn't want to deal with that headache at this price range. We just put the cash down. I also looked at this as a very safe investment. We're talking about prime real estate in the San Francisco neighborhood, Pack Heights here, and the other one that we have.
Pack Heights and Soma,
that
which
was
is
rented.
Close, yeah.
That was already rented and furnished already.
Right.
Yeah. So there is appreciation, of course, that can happen, but I also looked at it as diversifying my real estate portfolio and taking money out of bonds and putting it into a real estate property that generates, a 5% cap rate. I don't have safe, secure, stable bonds that generate that type of cap rate or that type of return. So yeah, TIC is a model that I encourage people to research. This is a model that I think can work very well. And I think TICs are good also if you want to be a first-time owner-occupant and live in a place like this, I think one good idea is you live in a place like this 9 months out of the year, and then you have am I correct? You have the right to rent this
Right.
3 months, and you can also go lower than 30 days.
Right. So,
or does the HOA not allow you to do that?
so you'd have to check with each HOA, but many of these properties that are, it's either TIC or condos that don't have anything in their HOA rules, and they say that they can do it under 30 days. You can go to the City Hall and you can get the certificate. I had a woman over, she has a very nice property in North Beach, and it was a condo actually, but she rented it, she lived in it 9 months out of the year, and she rented it out, up to 3 months, and she got, a lot per night. So you can do that under 30
do you
days.
Find, let's talk a bit about your investor base as well. When we think about your investor base, what is the typical investor? Are they an owner-occupant? Are they like a real estate investor that has a huge portfolio of San Francisco TICs and
I have
condos?
both, yeah. So I work with a couple developers that have properties all over the United States. Well, one that has properties all over the United States. And he has several buildings that he comes in and just builds, and then we rent them out or we sell them. And then I work with owners too, that they come to me and they're just investing in a couple properties. Do
they live in the properties?
No,
they don't.
They just invest.
Okay.
They just want to invest in a property in San Francisco.
Do your owners own the property they live in? Or do they rent their own property and buy properties here to rent out?
They own their property that they live in,
okay,
yeah,
so they're
and
a
then
homeowner already.
Yeah, they're homeowners, and then they just buy like 2 or 3 investment properties. So I have a few people that do that, and then there's people. I have a lot of owners that are in Europe that just give me their property, and they're just taking off. They're just going to work someplace else.
Okay, so they lived in a property, they've now got a job offer or have to transfer to stay, and they go to you because the formula here isn't just, I've got a place, leave it unfurnished, done. They can leave their belongings in the property too, and just leave it as it is. If it's good deco, you'll know what it could rent for, and then they've got the flexibility to come back whenever they want. They're not tied down to a 12-month type of contract.
Right.
They leave San Francisco, they come back 3 months later, they can't live in their home. So this is a really good compromise. Not even a compromise, it's a no-brainer in my view.
Right, yeah, and they've been gone for, it's funny, just some people just left and they just gave me the keys, and I don't know when they're coming back. They might come back in a couple of years, like who knows.
It's so crazy, there are lots of units that are unoccupied and the owner is away far longer than they expected, and they're sort of stuck in this analysis paralysis. They don't know what to do with it. It's a headache, but someone has to pay the mortgage on that property. If they bought it all cash, it's not yielding any return. Smart thing to do is just to get someone to short-term furnish it,
right?
And then you have it for you can come back in a month or two and it can be yours. Do you also have people that maybe are quite transitional in that they'll split their time in their property and then they'll leave and they'll rent this out and then they'll come back? I know I was once renting a place from you I don't know if it was in Dolores, but the owner would be staying for like a month or two and then would leave a month or two, and so whenever I wanted the place, I would rent it out for the whole month, and then could use it whenever I wanted to.
Yeah, I think the property was at 77 Van Ness, right? Like he lives in it and he just goes on vacation, he's retired, and he just gives it to us for a couple months, and we'll rent it to, a lot of the people around Hayes Valley too. We work with the arts community. So they'll always want 77 Van Ness, and then you like that building, so. Yeah.
One of the tactics I'm trying to employ here as well is buy a TIC in a building, and then you also have the inside track usually. If another unit's about to go on sale, you know the property very well, and that could be an opportunity for you to build up your ownership. If you see a 3-unit or a 5-unit building that's TIC, and you buy every single one eventually, you've now won in a way, because you've bought each unit 20%
Yeah.
below. Now you own the whole building, and the whole building itself has a lot of value. So yeah, that's the San Francisco real estate market. I do think there's good opportunities, and I will be continuing to invest as we start to see how our first 2 deals go.